You're welcome to Conversations with Michael Ogunshola, the peak performance strategist. Many thanks for coming on the platform. So many years ago, a community was invaded. A king by the name David and his men were away. The enemy took advantage of the absence of the men of war, and even David the king. And what happened really was devastating. Guess what? David and his men began to cry. They wept until they had no strength in them. And the next thing, David's men spoke of stoning their king or their leader, as it were, in the person of David. And as they began to make all those permutations on how to stone their leader, David did not allow the negativity to get into him. In that moment, he paused and he began to pray about the situation. He inquired from a prophet. He asked, this event that has happened, what do I do? Should I pursue this troop? Will I overtake? Will I recover all? And he got the response that he should pursue, he should overtake, and he was going to recover all. And that's exactly what we'll be talking about today. If you are new to the channel, please do well to like this video, subscribe, and on the conversation today, I'll be talking about how to respond versus react. From the story I used to open the conversation, you will note that David's men reacted. Even David initially reacted, but he advanced to response. So what is the difference between response and reaction? Response talks about when anything happens to you, before you make any action or inaction, you exercise your power of choice to determine how you will handle the situation, albeit positively, because all you have control over, in the final analysis, all you have control over is your response. Reaction, on the other hand, is like Sir Isaac Newton's law: for every action there's reaction. What that means is those that are given to reaction, they are given to reflex, while those that are given to response, they are the type that exercise their power of choice. You see, between whatever happens to you and whatever way you choose to respond or react to it, you have a thin line called choice. In life, there are things that are outside of your control. When things that are outside of your control happen to you, how do you respond? When things that are within your control happen, those are the things you really should give your energy to. And that's why I will quickly share with us a few things that are within our control and things that are outside of our control, so that when things that are outside of our control happen, rather than react, we are just going to respond. So things that are within our control: the thoughts we think, what we give our energy to. I'm reminded of when I had a major loss, in my marriage. And for me, when I had this major loss, I had a duty to determine that I will not allow these external events to determine how I would carry myself going forward. Rather than allowing it to bring about depression, I used it as a springboard even onto greatness. The loss I experienced, if some people experienced it, they'll probably say that because I'm a person of faith, and I would have thought that because I'm a person of faith, I shouldn't have that kind of loss. My response was, rather than allow these events to affect my walk with God or my faith, as it were, it would rather strengthen my resolve, because what is life without challenges? So I said that to say, in the face of emotional triggers, do you react or respond? Because you will always face emotional triggers. There are things that your spouse will do to you. When your spouse say things that hurt you or do things that hurt you, will you react and be given to violence, or you will pause? For instance, a lot of people say, when somebody slaps you, the next thing you have to do is to slap him back. But I always tell people that if someone slaps you, the next thing to do is not to slap the person. For instance, you are walking on the street and a madman picks a cane and he wants to flog you. Will you pick your own cane and want to flog him back? You will ignore him and walk away because you fundamentally understand something, that this guy is insane. Well, the natural thing would have been you want to react. But wisdom tells us don't react, but respond. The crux of the matter is reaction is given to stimulus, is given to reflex. Response is given to choice. I choose my response. Some of those things that are outside of our control are our past. We can't change them. We can only embrace them and let them form the building block of our present and also our future. And we cannot also control outcome of events. There is a formula I like to teach people. E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. But the truth of the matter is sometimes you will do everything right and the outcome will still be wrong. That's because we live in a world that is unpredictable. That is the sovereignty of the monarch of the universe, the God that is ruling in the affairs of men. When you have done everything right and still see a wrong outcome, that's not the time for you to be angry. Because ultimately, sometimes doing everything right and getting a wrong outcome might be a test, might be a trial. It might be testing your patience, testing your resilience, testing your confidence, testing your belief. And that's how life works. You will be tested and tried. If you have a global vision, I always say it, you must start it local. And when you are working on that global vision on a local scale, you will be tested and tried. When you are tested and tried, do you react or respond? What other people think of you is not important, because they have a right to think whichever way they want to think. It's left for you to see yourself the way you are created in God's image. People will not believe in you, but do you believe in yourself? All of this is important because we live in a world where there is social media and there are triggers everywhere, and the goal of all of these social media, swiping through our phone, buy this, buy that, online shopping and whatnot, the goal actually is to trigger reaction. A lot of adverts here and there, nudity here and there. The goal is to trigger reaction. But if you understand this conversation that I'm sharing with you, you will not be given to reaction. Rather, before you click buy, you will ask yourself, do I need this product? How is this product going to add value to me? Otherwise, you will live all your life doing other people's bidding and never maximizing your own life. Reaction is immature. Like, I was in church today and I was with a group of children, and what I observe about children is children are given to reaction. So when you kick one person, the other person is going to react. Immediately you kick him, I will kick you back. That's how children are. That's reaction is immature. On the other hand is response. I was also in another setting earlier today, and the man said, when you rain all sort of insults on me, I can choose to respond. I can choose to react by giving it to you as you gave it to me. But the superior way is to actually respond by ignoring all of the banters. The truth of the matter is, the more you engage in drama, the more drama you will see in your life. So my encouragement to you is, rather than react through life, focus on responding. If you are new to this channel, please do well to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. So there is a story in the Bible of a woman by the name Ruth. Ruth had just lost her husband. The mother-in-law said to Ruth, I have lost my children. I can't have children again. Why not go back to your people? And Ruth said to her, your people have now become my people. I'm not going to leave you because I have a vision for my life. There is a trajectory I am walking towards. Wherever you go to, I will go to. When Ruth and Naomi got to Naomi's hometown, they literally had to beg to survive. Ruth did not allow those external events affect her, self-esteem, because she's not given to reaction, she's given to response. When she will go even to Boaz's farm to pick grains, even from leftover from the work that have been done for the day, She will pick, sometimes they would drive her, other times they would allow her. The time came, Boaz said, deliberately leave grains for this woman. And the time came, Boaz said, who is this woman? She is a diligent woman. I want to meet her. Tell him how that she is somebody that came in from a far country. She had lost her husband. She's with her mother-in-law, taking care of her mother-in-law, and the rest is history, because Boaz later found out that they are kinsmen and they ended up getting married. And Ruth, that was poor, suddenly became Ruth, that is wealthy, because she got married to Boaz. And that's the idea. The idea is those that respond to life, regardless of what life throws at you. It's like the popular saying, when life gives you lemon, make lemonade out of it. And that's exactly my encouragement. Act mature by responding per time. When people expect you to react, actually respond, because you are created in God's image. You have a thinking faculty, you have a mind to process things. So don't just react to emotional triggers. When you are angry, don't act in anger. Somebody said, whatever starts in anger will not finish well. I remind Ogunshola, the peak performance strategist, saying, peak performance